So, someone brought up in the comment section of the last Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush video that they read ahead at the episode titles, and one of them actually looked like it would be a lot more interesting with actual drama in it. I'm going to assume they were talking about this episode because, well, there was actually something to talk about, which is now the criteria for why we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush because they actually do something interesting. Yeah, that's right. That's where we're at, people. Before we get into that episode, we should probably talk about last week's episode where our heroes took on the Mokele-mbembe. For those of you who don't know, the Mokele-mbembe is a cryptid from Africa where it is claimed to be a large dinosaur that is living in the rivers of the jungle. But what is actually going on in that situation is that it is simply a story that local tribes tell, and they acknowledge it's made up. I've never claimed it was real until young Earth creationists started going to Africa to try and find the creature because they believe that if you find this thing, it somehow proves the Earth is 3,000 years old and evolution is not real. This does not make a lot of sense, and the African tribes at first did not want to get involved in this until the Christian groups started paying them to be their guides and help perpetuate the story and give them information. And this is what I like to call my personal favorite genre of pseudo-archaeology and pseudo-history study. Indigenous tribes just tricking the fuck out of stupid white people. It's fucking beautiful. If you ever take the time, look up the beautiful stories of this happening. But yeah, no, so it's time in this friendship tournament thing to face the Mokele-mbembe, except he is not the Mokele-mbembe. He is the model Mokele-mbembe because this dinosaur likes to build plamo. That's right, he builds plastic model kits. What does this have to do with your ice-themed villain? Nothing. Yeah, it's literally just this weird out of nowhere bit, and like he's not even fighting one of the main characters, it's the side character girl, which is just kind of like a really weird experience all around to sit through. And the thing is, like, as someone who builds Gunpla and the Figurized Digimon line and stuff like that, I kind of want to like this episode because, like, they're bringing up all the crazy shit I, A, do and B, have to listen to. And this is one of those ideas where the idea of, like, a model building alien dinosaur working for a Ice King who is also a popular mangaka is such a crazy fucking weird idea. I kind of want to love it, but I can't because the show's been so fucking ass lately that even doing something really fun and weird just like has me like not caring that much, which sucks, but I kind of feel like this will be one of those jokes where 6 months from now I'm just randomly gonna think about this and like laugh. Which is the best I can say. The episode itself is fairly bog standard. It's just the duel, and I don't understand why Yuhi doesn't fight the thing if like he's the one with the emotional stake in the episode. I mean, I guess to just stick the girl in another weird outfit or make the joke that fuck Plamo or whatever the fuck that was about. Ironic considering this is a show that exists to sell cards. But yeah, and then it just kind of ends with the dinosaur looks in the box that has the picture of Luke's penis and turns into a block of ice. And again, Yuhi is the only one who cares, so why not have Yuhi face him? And then at the end of the episode, it turns out that Udius knows who the Lug is because the Lug wrote the manga that was in a random episode that I'm supposed to remember, but honest to God, don't. That's where we're at. So then we move on to this episode where it opens with our heroes it opens with the interesting scene of you see a little cat-like girl on a ice world who everyone has been turned into the same blocks as everyone else, and she's the only one left, and she watches her mother get taken from her. And what was interesting was that the scene was framed to just make you think it was something they were reading in the manga, or that's at least what I took from it. And I actually think that is a clever form of storytelling. Like basically like faking us out by the fact that you just wouldn't assume anything better. So yeah, so then they're all like, we got to get the car. No, then they were like, we got to get the Earth Dammer because the Kappa, who is still barely done anything, says maybe the Earth Dammer can fix this. So we're just still going in circles with that plot line. But then it turns out it's time for the next duel. But the issue is that the card that is being made by Yuga, yeah, that's just fucking Yuga. Please, dear God, let it be Yuga. I want Yuga back. But yeah, whatever the fuck is going on there. They made a card and Neanderthal is going to deliver it, hopefully fucking faster than the actual mail is, because now like I'm sitting here waiting for cards for BCS that's less than a month from now. But anyways, so then they gotta go up to the ship for the next duel, and the randomly selected opponents are our rival character Manabu and Neanderthal herself. That's right. She's betrayed the squad and is now siding with the Lug. And so they're going to have a duel. And the big thing that starts this duel off to show that Neanderthal has changed sides, Neanderthal then transforms into a waifu. Because why the fuck not? And you know what? I kind of like this because A, it's kind of funny. And also, most importantly, she's got boobs. That's right. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when Yu-Gi-Oh! Women, A, looked more or less like adults and had actual impressive racks that made us 10-year-olds feel very strange things in our pants. You know what? I missed this so much. We're going to take a few seconds and appreciate some nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Boobs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. That's right. Yeah, those are some nice breasts. Ooh, My Valentine, a fucking classic. Ooh, Alexis, some really nice boobs, and if you're into armpits, she's got those too. Akiza, the best breasts in Yu-Gi-Oh! Droy, I don't overtly care about this character, but everyone in Zale is 13. And Akari, she's pretty fucking hot. Then you have Arc 5. Did anyone have boobs in that one? Because we're not counting the Yuzu girls, because that kind of hurts the joke. The Tyler sisters were kind of flat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know flat is justice, but no. Oh, and then Emma, Ghost Girl. It's fucking hot. And then we're going to end this whole thing off with Blue Angel. Why? Because even though she was a virtual character, and I actually really do like Aoi's design, I find it very funny that when Aoi made her avatar, that is supposed to be the idealistic version of what she wants to be in her head, the first thing she did was give herself big boobs. This was brought to you by Who Cares If the Video Gets Monetized. Anyway, so yeah, back to the episode. So then the duel starts, and yeah, I actually really liked this. Manabu's character has a really strong personality despite not having a lot of screen time, and the actor really sells this whole thing. He really gets into it, and like, even though it kind of went the way you expected, that in the end she's not really gonna betray everybody. And of course, naturally, the idea is the only reason she did was so she could get close to the Lug, so that way she could potentially free her family, who was of course the family at the beginning. Which I thought the way that brought it all together and tied together was actually well done. And like seeing her like give up her chance to potentially like save her people just because of for Manabu, I think is actually kind of nice and a really sweet sentiment. The duel itself is actually a lot of fun. I like that Manabu's busting out boss monsters, gets his equip spell out quickly, and then we have the reintroduction of fusions. Yes, Fusion Shokan, please return to us, Fugo Shokan. Oh, that made me smile to just like bust it back out and do something fucking interesting in one of these duels. But yeah, and then she brings out her fusion monster, beats Manabu, but before Manabu gets taken away, and again, like, Why even look in the box? Kick it out of his hands. Just kick it. It's a box. He doesn't look that big. Just do it. Do it. But yeah, no, so then it gets out of her thing. She loses her human form because she blinked like Ultraman, which I'm convinced was just to highlight the breast even more. Even the animators wanted to remind us how great Yu-Gi-Oh! Girl boobs are. And then she just kind of like, she's the one who gets turned into ice after looking through the box to try and tell everybody what's going on. And the episode just ends on Manabu screaming her name. And yeah, this works. This is effective and it's well done. And do I wish it was in a better, more consistent show? Yes, but for what it is, this was enjoyable. But give me your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. As for the TCG question of the week, it's happening, people. Baron finally is getting its reprint in like a May set or something in March. That's giving us our Gate Guardian support and Guardian Chimera. I, honest to God, thought that Gate Guardian got support like a year ago. We just didn't care. But no, that's really cool, and it's happy to see this card get the reprint. So my question for you now is, what was a card that you desperately waited for it to get a reprint and it finally happened and you were just like overjoyed? Because I got my Baron a long time ago, but I know a lot of people who are just like really like bouncing off the walls, more excited for this than even a lot of the like tin reprints this year's and Mavens and Battle of Legends. In terms of me for big exciting reprints, it's a little hard to tell because like I'm usually pretty good at, people will either just let me borrow shit until I'm able to afford it on my own. So usually I'm pretty good about trying to work through decks. Though in recent memory, Zeus getting its reprint was really nice because I remember like secret rare Zeuses were actually really expensive. So being able to get the reprint, and I like opened it and a Talons in the same tin. And I know they weren't short print, but it was just a nice feeling. But give me your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week. And hopefully we find out if Luke's penis is really in that box.